Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Franca. Tonight on the show with me, I have Jacinta Powell, my my sweetie pie,
Hi.
and then I have Sir Joe, Barrister Joe, but we call him Sir Joe. Sir Joe, what yeah? Sir Joe, are you muted?
So what?
Okay. I say what yeah?
Oh why yes,
Oh why yes see? Sir Joe, how far now? What's going on?
I do. What's up?
I
How
dey
about you?
try. I'm your girl. Anytime, you just ring me. I'm there. Nothing they happen.
I believe you.
Always. Okay, so Sergio, we're discussing the side chick and self worth. This is a very gang topic. The side chick and self worth. What does this mean? Should I start with Jacinta or start with Sergio? What does this mean, Sir Jacinta? The side chick
Can
and
barely
self
hear
worth.
you.
Sergio, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, but I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay, so we're saying today we're discussing the side chick and self worth. What does that mean? What's your understanding of that?
I don't know what side chicks are. I don't know why they're having issues with their self worth.
No, but let's be honest here.
Okay,
Franco, you
so
have to tell us, the scenario in which you're playing this now,
okay,
with this
so every
topic.
scenario.
So there's no
Because
particular
so there's no
type.
so let's not take it because it has to do with both women, the side chick, and the legit whoever.
Okay.
Do you understand? So we're saying
That's what.
from any angle, from both angles, because we're not just discussing self worth. So the side chick and then self worth, because somehow it would affect whoever is supposed to be the legit babe or the actual babe or wife, and then the side chick.
Okay,
Okay.
I
So
I, I are you supposing the impact of side chick on the self worth of
Self
the
worth,
wife
yes,
or
self worth on the side chick and even on the lady, and then even with the man. Does he give him a particular kind of? You understand?
okay, so now I get it. So you're
Yes,
more like the scenario, the idea that brings in a side chick, which obviously has to be a married man who has a wife, or a man who has a girlfriend,
girlfriend.
but there's someone on the
Then
side.
someone on the
So
side.
what's happening with their self
What's happening
worth?
with their
More like
self
it.
worth? Everybody involved in that circle.
Um.
What's happening to their self worth? Because you hear people saying, "Oh, I have a side chick because it just makes me." For some people, it just makes them feel whole.
Okay.
Do you understand? And then what happens when the side chick realizes she's a side
uh
chick?
Okay.
hello Franca, I may need to change my location and my internet. I'm hardly hearing you.
Okay, that's fine. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're saying so for the guy, it kind of it would boost his morale and everything that he's able to have two or three girls at the same time. And then for the side chick, what happens when she finds out that she's actually a side chick? That's if she doesn't know she's a side chick.
Okay, so now I get it. So let's look at it from these different ways. Okay, so now I'm a woman. Okay, maybe I'm very wealthy. Okay, and then there's another woman. Let's just call her Sarah. She's not so wealthy. Okay, now I have what I need financially, and maybe I have then decided to choose a kind of particular kind of man that I want. Maybe I could even be married and maybe I'm lacking something. So I could be single or married, lacking something. It could be companionship. It could be someone who just be on the phone laughing with me. It could be sex related. It could even be money. Let's look at that at Sarah because I don't need money. So now, what I'm trying to say is, I then decide to date someone. Now, I'm looking at it from the point of me knowing that this man has a girlfriend or has a wife. All right. So I know this man has a girlfriend. I know that he has a wife. But what I want is companion or sex or maybe partnership. All right. And then we start. Now, in that scenario, it's a decision and it has nothing to do with my self worth. I just need to choose someone, pick someone who is not, who is good looking, maybe, good job, reputable, educated, not gay, who's not below 5'5", somewhat has no jail records, just a choice. and then it happens to be this married man. That's if I decide that I want it that way. Maybe I also want something discreet. I don't want affection in the relationship and so much more. Now, with this kind of choice, yeah, which I believe everything has to do with choice, yeah, my self-worth is intact. Because I'm even I'm operating from the place of total my decision, what I want. It might be for 3 months, it might be for 1 year, it might be for whatever, but that time is what I want. Okay. Now, if it's a woman who maybe she's with him, okay, and it's maybe she needs something else, financial support, whatever it is, it's fine. It's who she is at that time, and that's what she has chosen. Of course, she knows maybe she's broke, yeah, and she needs that man maybe to give her money. So what does she do? She takes all the bullshit, obviously. Then you can say, "Oh, are you tampering with your self-esteem or your self-worth?" That could be a big question. You could question that a little bit, you know.
So what, from everything you have explained, if you are married and you're lacking emotions and you're lacking sex, whatever it is,
Yeah, you're
in
lacking,
your relationship, and then but you're married,
Either which way, married or unmarried.
as in married or unmarried, and then you start dating someone else. Does it affect your self-worth?
No, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't affect your
No,
self-worth.
that's a choice, not a self-worth. Your self-worth has nothing to play there. When your self-worth starts becoming...
the self-worth, so the self-worth
it's just
here
a
is-
need.
So the self-worth here
Okay.
is the man you're dating has someone.
Yes, and I'm aware.
Yeah, you're aware he has someone. So because you're saying because it's your choice,
Because it's a need.
is your need, and then you take the choice to
My
do
need,
it.
yeah.
It's your need, but you have decided it's a choice you have taken to do
Yes.
it. It won't affect your self-worth.
Not at all. Let me tell you when your self-worth is affected.
Okay.
When you set maybe boundaries and he's crossing those boundaries. When he's abusing you emotionally. When he's maybe abusing you physically. Or maybe he's downplaying who you are, what you represent.
Okay, so-
then I'll say that it will affect my self-worth now because he's passing my certain boundaries.
Oh no, that I don't. So that for that, I still would not say it's affecting yourself. Or you know why I say that? Because if you go into something knowing that this is what I'm going into, I'm going to. He definitely has someone, so that doesn't affect me. I'm just going to be there for what I need: sex, money, whatever it is I need. It's transactional. So the fact that it's transactional, it won't affect anything.
Do you know that the marriage is prenup, where people go into the marriage transactional? It's
No,
a
no.
transactional
We're
marriage.
saying we're not talking about your proper, your legit husband or wife now. We're saying
No, I'm still talking about choice. That's what I'm trying to say.
no, but we're just saying this. So this particular one, we're
Okay.
saying self-worth because you are doing something. Because you see, for some people, it affects if the wife finds out now. Now you are not affected because you chose to date that man.
Yes, my
It's
self-worth
not
is intact.
It's you. So your self-worth is intact.
Yeah.
If the wife finds out that, oh, my husband is dating a Jess,
Yeah.
do you understand? She has money. She's doing well. She's just using him for sex. Would that affect the wife?
Of course, some way or the other, because you know why? They have a commitment. It would affect
It's
her.
a different kind of relationship.
It's a different kind of... now you're
So it's
saying...
not something she bargained for.
Thank you. It's not something
So
she
it would affect
entered
her.
into it,
Knowingly.
knowingly. But like I said, if she entered into it knowingly, that in my marriage, my husband can cheat, I can cheat, or I don't have to cheat, but I will get this, there's an agreement, it will affect her. So because she didn't choose that kind of marriage, it would affect her self-worth. She's
So
not
that
thinking.
means, the two things. If I go into it knowingly and I know that this is what it is, it shouldn't affect yourself because
no,
it's a
you
decision
chose.
you have taken.
Yes.
So it is when you guys don't have that conversation and then he begins to do it.
Yes.
It might, because there are some people that it still might not affect their self-worth.
It might to some degree. In life, everything happens to us in degrees.
We're saying might. We're saying it might affect and it might not. It's not all, because the
Of
truth
course.
is sometimes
it might not, depending on who the person is.
Exactly,
yeah,
who
and
the
how she
person
takes
is
the man.
and how she takes it.
Yeah, because some of them would even be bothered. They might even be criminals themselves, and they'd have the loyalty to them don't mean anything, and all this, keeping your word together. All this, you know what I mean? All this, the way
So it's a
supposed to
two-way
be.
thing, because if your partner is cheating with a house girl,
Okay, now, see, if my partner cheats on me with my house girl, it can never affect my self-worth.
okay,
No. Because, first of all, I would start to understand the kind of man that I have married. Because it has to do with you. Do you understand? It's just like me sleeping with my gate man. It's not about me now. It's about you. I start to see the disgust that you are. You know what I mean? I start thinking, okay, this man is not mentally fine. That can never affect my self-worth. That's on you.
Okay.
It will affect my self-worth, like I just said to you. If the woman is doing well, she's successful, excuse my language, she has her things put together. Then I have to say to myself, is it because I did not further my career? Is it because I stayed at home and gave birth to 4 children? Is it because I'm now fat? Because if you look at it now, maybe she's the same age as I am. And maybe I'm thinking that he's running to her because she's successful. She's, on TV or she's everywhere. That can, at some point, whatever, brush on me negatively. So,
Okay.
yeah, but not the house girl. Come on. No,
Okay.
not the house
Do
girl.
we have Sergio back? Sergio is not back? Okay. Okay, so I get that fact, but then there are some people who don't even know their side chicks.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, absolutely. I love that angle. Yes.
Okay.
That
So
can affect your
affect
self-worth.
your
That can.
self-worth.
Because, like we said, it's not something you bargained for. It's not something that you decided to when you got into the relationship. And many of us, even our mothers, were all one side chicks. Many. The man were dating them. Maybe they didn't even know who that woman was. They never even knew there was someone ever. Some never even found out. You know what I mean? It's either they broke it off or they married the person. So what it is not knowing, nothing can harm you when you don't know. But
So
then
that's
when
what
you
you don't know doesn't
kill you. But then when you then know it, of course, you have to decide. Why some women, it doesn't affect any self-worth. They will fight that side chick till they
die.
till they die. Because to them, they believe that life is all
their
about
right.
competition.
Yes.
It's all about fighting for what you want. So you see, different mindset now. So it's not going to go. It's not going. There's nothing. It's not going to do anything to me at all. I'm just going to fight and make a mess of myself, a mockery of myself. However it is.
Go to school and fight.
Find him in the restaurant, fight with him. Go to
go to his office,
fight everywhere, smash his.
And then you carry your friends and go and meet the girl.
Oh my goodness, this reminds me of
Okay, Sergio, can you hear me? Hello, Sergio.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Sergio. Okay, so Sergio, what's your take? Side chick and self-worth.
I do not understand the relationship between side chicking and self-worth.
Okay, so
I don't know if it's self-worth for the woman.
So from any angle that you want to take it from.
Who is unfortunate to have a husband who is cheating, or the man who feels that he's inadequate and incomplete without having a side chick, or the side chick who is unable to have a man of her own and less to pick on other people's man.
Whichever you feel comfortable discussing.
There are angles to look at this from. I mean, if you're looking at it from the side chick's perspective, first of all, I feel it is a question to your self-worth to settle for another woman's husband.
Okay.
Then, if you elect to do that, and then every now and then you have to hide and snake and do what side chicks do, then of course it is not the act, it's not the relationship that impacted on your self-worth, but it's because you do not have self-worth that led you into that relationship. And for the wife who would find out, it definitely would affect her self-worth, because women like validation. A lot of women prefer validation. That is why it is always better to speak your love to women than to act your love. I mean, I don't think there's a better way to put it, but the point I'm trying to make is that it is the best communication of loving to women is in speaking it.
Affirmation.
Not in your actions or inactions. So she would question everything about her existence. She would question her sufficiency for the man. And if it's that the man is running after a younger lady, she will now be reminded that she's becoming too old for the man, or she's not able to satisfy the man's need. If the man is running after a more successful lady, her self-worth will be questioned to the extent that she would now be wondering what she did with her youth. Whether she dedicated everything to this marriage and then at the end of the day, there's nothing to show for it. The mass preference is for the high class and high ladies out there, while she is just back here as mother and wife.
Okay.
Then for the man himself who is engaged in that amorous act, the question is...
So who are these men anyway? Are they not?
You say what?
Are they not alive?
They are alive.
The way Sajo
talks
here,
about
as
them
if they don't exist.
Sajo, why are you wicked?
You talk as though they're in parables, as if they're not.
Amorous. The way he's always attacking them,
as though they're not. You know.
No. You see, for me, I do not. Because I have had the privilege of counseling and interfacing with a lot of married men who have been deeply hurt or are suffering so much from marriage and from women. It is now easier, maybe as I'm aging, it's now easier for me to understand why they are involved in this side chick thing. Before, I just could not comprehend or tolerate it.
Okay.
So, but I'm saying that it is also a spark of insufficiency that will make you think that your happiness or your self-worth is tied to having a side chick, or your escape from the misery that you have been plunged into by the decision you made to marry a particular woman can be assuaged or mitigated by having a side chick. So either way, I think
Sajo, but
all of them, they all have issues to deal with.
From what you just said now. From what you just said, you said, okay, you couldn't understand why men have side chicks. But after counseling and speaking to a lot of men, you seem to understand it, right? So is it that you understand why they do it now?
Yes, to a very large extent, I understand why they are involved in it. Why, and now I speak for the few good men out there. I understand why good men are involved in it.
I like that angle.
Okay, so why? Well, so can you explain why the good men are involved in it?
There are no book reasons, but I mean, you can type. Okay, let me give you one quick story. Yesterday, I was in Abuja, and I had a short meeting with a group of friends. And one of our friends said to us that his wife has sued him. The woman he lives with in the same house, has children with, who is engaged in her infidelity, has sued him for more than $500 million and has asked the court to declare her co-owner of his property. Okay. But she did not ask for divorce. And their marriage has been going south for over 2 or 3 years. This is someone who caught the wife cheating, but still says, okay, because of my children, let me endure this and raise these kids together. And then yesterday, the woman hit him with such unthinkable blow. If that man does not look for, if that is all he knows, first and foremost, if that is all he knows as an escape, if he does not get an escape in a side chick, he's going to die before the lawsuit will crystallize. And then by so doing, he will help the woman achieve her original intent of exterminating him and taking over his property. For that person now, it's easier for you to excuse.
Sajo, but are you sure that the guy wasn't cheating before the wife started cheating?
I can't swear anything to that. This is someone I know. Okay. This is a family man. And again, I told him, I said, look, unfortunately, I have a very extreme position with marriage. I told him that we create the women we marry.
Yes.
Or we recreate them.
Yes, you recreate them.
By our actions and inactions, they evolve over time to become what
I agree.
Our actions create them to be.
I agree.
I said, all through you have shown this woman the very weak part of you. Now, I'd rather be a tamed beast than be a weak being. I think that is the best picture to paint for the guy, which I feel was what informed the wife's decision to start jumping from beds to beds.
Okay, so I don't know why I feel that. So maybe people just there might not even be a reason for her to do whatever she's doing or whatever, but I just feel that something triggers something. I don't know why, but again, there might not be a reason. But Sajo, what we asked was why. So you gave a good example, but I was expecting a different kind of example that would cut across, because this is a very rare
Yes,
case.
I I do not know your mind. I don't know what you're expecting. Maybe you should share your expectations so that
So
I
no, what I
can.
was trying to say is, we're asking that why do you've spoken to a lot of men, and we want to understand why they cheat. This man hasn't started cheating. Do you understand? From what you say, you know him so well, so he's not cheating. But we are saying if he cheats, he has a reason
Okay,
to.
men would cheat. Some men would cheat because of lack of emotional satisfaction within the marriage. Some men will cheat when they realize, and some do realize too late, that they were never loved in the first place. They were just means to an end. Put differently, when all you are seen and treated as in the marriage is to make provisions, to provide, and no one thinks about your needs, the likelihood of the man cheating is high, because we all have needs. If you scroll through the social media pages now, you see a lot of people making videos on the needs of women, on what you need to do to keep a woman happy, what you need to do to XYZ, to do this, to do that for women. And there are very limited videos on what you need to do for a man. Because most times they think that men can sort themselves out. But that is not true. A lot of men do not even have people who they speak with at home. So for them, it's just drill, 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 walk, 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 and you come home and they line up the new set of complaints and bills to you, you solve them, and you're just as important as the bills you pay or the
Okay,
complaints you're able to solve.
okay, no, so but
At
Sajo,
that
you
point, the
said
man will
something.
likely begin to look out there, to
Okay.
look. You are speaking, Franca?
Okay, so you said something that we are the men, your wife is a product of what you have made her, right? That's what you just said. So if in a relationship, like you explained, the man is just about money, don't you think that's all he has provided? That's what he's needed for.
Okay. Franca, if a man feels that his core duty is to provide and protect, and he performs that duty exceedingly well, and the woman thinks her core duty is to nurture and be an emotional balance in the marriage, do you not think that if both of these persons perform their duties very well, they will both be happy?
But Sajo, do you know
It is
that?
only when Mr. A is performing what he thinks his duties are, provide and protect, and he's not getting any form of reciprocation from the other side, that is when his battery will just burn out
No, but
one day.
Sajo,
And of course,
when
he
it
needs to
comes to
recharge.
we've had a conversation here where you said that it cannot be like that all true, because that one person who is always giving will be drained. That's what you said.
If
So
it
is it?
if it if it's not like that temporarily, if it's not like that intermittently, it's not going to be a problem, because we all know that there's no constant source, right? But if for any reason you discover that all I get here is this, irrespective of the mood and timing, then you begin to question the reason you are there.
Okay, so why I'm asking this question is because the things you have raised, the issues he has raised about, okay, the man thinks he's supposed to provide, and the woman wants to have an emotional, feels she's the one that will provide the emotions and blah blah blah. Sergio, I personally think that if you don't have that communication, because we have agreed that some people don't even know what it is. The guy might think he's doing everything. The woman might think she's doing all she can do. Do you understand? If you don't have that
No, Franca,
communication,
please. Franca, I completely disagree with you on this. You see, when we begin to make excuses for people's ineptitude.
Sergio, we're not making
No,
excuses. We're
I'm
saying,
coming.
Sergio,
I want to
no.
make a point,
No,
please.
Sergio, I am saying that before you go out of the house, before you decide to cheat, you said, oh, you're going out because
Not
you're
me,
lacking emotional.
not you. Not you. Before they decide to cheat.
Okay, so not you. Okay. Before whoever decides to cheat, I'm saying, shouldn't you have a conversation? That's what I'm saying.
But
No,
do
but
you
where do they do that?
know that there are people who you cannot engage in any form of communication or conversation with? You see, the reason a lot of marriages will need to depend very firmly on counselors these days that they are not able to communicate
Yeah.
at all.
Sergio was saying the same thing. If they cannot
People speak
communicate,
in marriages
let them go.
most
So
times.
what I'm saying is, if they can't communicate, let them go to a counselor. Because you see, how is so I want to understand, is the side chick going to save the marriage?
Yes.
Okay, so explain.
Now, from conversation with people, again, I play this to you. No, but seriously, imagine you've had a very stressful day at work. And I think I saw this in one podcast, one of those that Nedu's podcasts. You've had a very stressful day at work, and then you are coming back home, stop by, spend time with the side chick, your pressure is relieved, you are recharged, you come back home happier to Madam Wife, right? Whatever problems she brings at that time, you're not going to react to those problems negatively. You see, the worst element in marriages is when you feel used. Now, when you are coming with that guilt of side chick, you will not feel that someone is using you. You also have some sense of, okay, me too.
Sergio, in all honesty, I think you should expatiate on this thing more, because it looks as if you're encouraging side chicks. Because I speak to you, I know I kind of understand where you're speaking from. But from the way you're sounding, you're making it look as if, so once a man feels used, because you see, people have been married, it's a relationship.
I am not encouraging side chick, and you know me too well to know that I do not
that's what I just
engage
said.
in that discussion.
That's what I
the
just
point,
said.
The point I'm making is that there are three routes to this thing.
Okay.
And they're all negatives for me. Now you have the route of exit the marriage, divorce, endure the pain, get palliatives from side chick, or just simply stay there enduring the pain and die young. Those are the only three things that can happen.
And the easiest is have a side chick.
The easiest is to divorce her, which is also wrong, particularly when you have children in the marriage. Having a side chick is like the middle way. You're not doing extreme left or extreme right. You're just doing this. Now, at the end of the day, the side chick, if you're unlucky, will also lead you to that thing you're running away from.
So that's why I said the easiest is the side chick. That's what I just said. The easiest is the side chick.
You can discard her whenever you want.
Because you can discard her whenever you want.
You can discard what?
Just side chick anytime.
You are playing.
You can discard side chick.
Have you not seen side chicks displace wives? Have you not seen side chicks kill men that because they feel that, okay, if I can't have him, you shouldn't have it. Though you claim ownership of him, I'm at the point where I need him. Now,
the percentage is very low.
Some of us, the major reason we are so scared of this side chicken thing is love. You can get carried away. If the man falls in love with the side chick, it's easier for him to deal with, to unlove or to run or to feel the pain of loving or unloving. But what if the side chick falls in love with the man? And women, by their very nature, are territorial. I know marriages. I know marriages, okay. I know a marriage, right? That we were in Abuja together with this friend of ours, my very good friend. Then when I was in the National Assembly as legislative aid, I would come to Lagos because of fear of all this side chicken thing. Every Friday I bought flights, come back to Lagos, do weekend, go back on Monday morning. Over time, I noticed that my guy that we used to do this in I come every week, he comes every fortnight, that's every 2 weeks. I noticed that my guy is not pushing his own to every end of the month. So one day we were to go to the airport together. That's after he has not pushed to end of the month too. But to go to the airport together, I went to his house with a car because he has a driver. He was a big boy then at Airtel. And then when I got to his place, I was like, bro, we need to move. Flight time, blah, blah, blah. Airport, distant ride. And the side chick came out from the inner room and warned me that she has always known that I'm not in support of this relationship, but let her warn me that she's in love with my friend and she will do anything to protect her love. That why must he go to Lagos every month? Do I know the cost implication of him going to Lagos every month? I laughed and I told him, look, it's not as expensive as you having lunch with Protea every other day. And I told him that if you're not going to the airport with me, when I get to Lagos, I'll go to your house and tell your wife that there's a woman in your house here in Abuja that wants to kill you.
How did that end?
Gradually, he went with me, and that woman, that lady, young girl, literally severed our relationship. Fast forward to 2 years later, his marriage with that woman hit the rock.
That's his wife.
The new side
Yeah,
chick.
his wife, because of this side chick.
Because of the wife.
And another side chick. Now, relax. So, just yesterday, he called me that, okay, before we get to yesterday, then over time, he came to Lagos, then he went to Abuja. Now he works in Abuja, back to Abuja. So we see every now and then, whenever I'm in Abuja. The second side chick, when he was having issues with this Madam Side Chick, let's call her Neka, for instance.
Side chick A.
No, Neka.
Neka, the pretty
servant. He now met another side chick, side lady now, who told him that his wife was demonic, his wife was a witch. This time I didn't know because Neka has severed our relationship. That the wife is using him spiritually. The wife joined Mami Water Group, joined that. His marriage was dissolved.
So that means it is the side chick B.
He now married. Wait, relax. He now married that side chick.
Not in Neka.
That led to the breakup of his marriage. The side chick bore him a son. Now, yesterday he called me and said that, before yesterday, the side chick called me one day because I went there to see his new place, massive place he built in Abuja, and we became close again. We were just there. And the side chick goes, Joe, my husband speaks so much. I said, no, don't marry, I don't know. My husband speaks so much about you. He says that he's this, that, that you are his moral compass. The side chick called me during the summer of last year. I was not in the country, and said, this your brother. He has a girlfriend. They went to London together. He's lavishing money. I was laughing. You know how I was laughing? I was like, okay. You came in as a side chick when he had a wife, and you are complaining about him having a side chick. What's going on here? But just yesterday, he told me that his side lady that became his wife has been out of his house till December. They have broken up.
Sajo, please. Sajo, I want us to go back. What of the Neka that warned you? The one that warned you, where is she now?
Neka is dead.
Eh?
Neka is dead. Neka duped him. Of then I think 17 million.
Okay.
left her to marry her boyfriend and had accident somewhere at that Anambra Road and died.
Please, let's quickly go on a break. Jacinta, let's quickly go on a break. Please, let's go on a break. When we come back, Sajo, you continue this your story. So next.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
The break, you shared this a very terrible story that I really don't understand. One person dies in the process, but what happened to your friend's wife? Do we still have Sajo?
Yeah.
Sajo, so what happened to the wife?
Which one, the first or the second wife?
His first wife, gone, the one that they said was Mami Water, blah blah blah.
The first wife is back to their state of origin. I don't want to name it.
Okay.
And she's basically surviving.
Okay. So they just
and in course of this, okay, wait.
He still doesn't realize that all that story was a lie.
You see, the truth is that if you do not have your paths, if you are not knowledgeable about your own spirituality, anything sold to you, you will buy.
True.
That's the truth.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He believed it, even in course of all of that. In course of that, he lost a son. He lost a son whom they claim had sickle cell anemia, which was actually where the whole madness started from. So the point I was trying to make, so that I will not distract from the core of our discussion, the topic of our discussion.
Yeah.
The point I was trying to make is that side chick is not a side show. It's a dangerous game. So the feeling that you're just going to engage with someone's life because on the left hand, being the side chick side, she wants money or she wants power or security of a sort. Maybe you're a powerful man in the society. And on your side, you want sexual pleasure. It does not always end there. And neither you nor the side chick knows where it will end. You can't be so systemic and so certain that, oh, this is how far I want to go. The side chick could wake up one day, fall in love with you, or she has crossed her 30s and then she needs a child, and then all her mind is that she needs a child that looks like you. talks like you or as smart as you are. And they are telling her story that you have to go back to the woman who is the reason you are having her, whose problem is the reason you are coming to her. She's not going to take that for too long. So it's a dangerous game and nobody knows where it will lead to.
I totally agree.
That's why I just brought that topic, those
yes, I understand
personal experiences up to guide men who feel that that's the only way out of the misery created by their marriage.
Okay. But Jacinta,
which that contributes to.
I know you have a lot to say based on what Sergio said. You want to say something?
Where do I start from?
The beginning.
First of all, I feel that
I can hardly hear Jacinta. Please, could you
can you
speak
hear
up,
me?
please?
Can you hear me
Go
now?
back to the mic.
First of all, I feel that the society makes a lot of excuses for men. You know, like I said before, any man who decides to get a side chick obviously knows there are consequences to his actions. And he knows that it could lead to a divorce. It could lead to chaos in his home. And if he does cherish it that much, he wouldn't have. So for him to even have, it means that he doesn't care. And even when the wife finds out, it's more like, so what are you going to do? More like it. He's waiting for you to do your worst. And you see, women can't do much because most of them are tied financially. You know, little fraction, and maybe emotionally, or most of it, especially in this society, you know, we're mostly, below the poverty line. So what am I saying? When you say that a man has to go and ease his tension outside before he gets into the house, you know what I mean? Because he's going to get home to a nagging wife. That's not true.
No, that's not a reason to do it, because you might come home that day and she
wants you that night, and she's not nagging you that night.
Yes,
you know what I mean? You don't know if she's going to nag you that night. Maybe she even wants you, and then maybe over time. I like what he said, that the wife or the women that are at home is what you have made.
What you have made them. Yes.
Maybe that night she doesn't want to nag. She just want to tap you and let us just But you've already had enough outside, and now you're no longer available. Another night, she's not nagging you. She wants you. You already had enough outside. And before you know it, she's 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year. Men don't touch their women. Why would that woman become raving mad? Why won't she want to take all your property? He said her intention from the beginning was maybe to take all his properties. No, I don't believe women go into marriages. Not all, but it's just obviously, in everything in life, there's always the good and the bad. But I would say that majority of women who go into marriages don't go there to take the man's property.
Majority of the what?
There. Majority of women who go into marriages do not go there with animosity or trying to take his property. That's not their intention. Something happened along the line, and that's why you see them fighting with so much anger and annoyance to take everything that he has. Because let's be honest here, we are woven differently, Franca. Some women even kill their husbands. Because there's this limit you can go. You don't even need to beat a woman before you can actually, mess with her self-worth and diminish her so low of herself that she wouldn't even know who she is anymore. It's temporal madness. So some women even go as far as poisoning him for a while until he dies, and they'll just laugh at it. You think you're winning out there when she knows that you're cheating on her every day, and then you say, what is she going to do? She poisons you every day. Men, but to be honest with you, men have balls though.
Yeah.
You cheat on women, you come back to the house and eat. You cheat on women, you still sleep next to them on the bed. Don't you know that she has your life right there? Or you still think that, she won't do nothing.
Because she loves me.
You underestimate women. You do. So I believe that when men make such choices, there are consequences to it. And a lot of women, let's be honest, that man does not want that marriage. He's already looked at it. And his ego, obviously, up to his ear. He knows that, hey, he looks at you. No, men are very, very logical creatures. He looks at you. He looks at your bank account. He looks at your possibilities of you going. He checks where your father lives. He checks whether you have houses. He weighs his options before he strikes. That's why you see a lot of men who have women who are very comfortable, who have women who come from wealthy homes, who have women who have their own money. They treat them differently.
No, but Jacinta, in all honesty, with what you just said now, yes, I want to agree that
to some extent.
To
I'm
some
not saying
extent, yes.
I'm not saying in totality.
Generally, yes, because
I'm not saying 100%.
no, because Jacinta,
But in
let me
life,
tell you why.
when you have more, Franca,
No.
when you have, forget about women. In life, when you have more, people treat you differently
No,
than the
Jacinta, wait.
average.
So let me tell you right now.
Okay.
I know situations where the women earn more.
I'm
The
not saying it
men are
doesn't
even
happen.
the
I'm
men
not
are
saying
even house husbands.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen,
Okay.
Franca. No,
Okay.
please get. I'm not saying when I'm speaking here. I'm not talking about everybody. No, it's
Just
not in
in
my
numbers.
terminology.
Yeah,
Not in my terminology at all. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
randomly.
When you look at it, you see
Yeah.
that when you have something to bring to the table,
Most times
They-
you don't get treated like
you
that.
don't-
It takes the
yes.
guy who has got balls.
balls,
Yeah,
and
to
who
even say,
obviously
you know what?
not even balls. Sometimes
even
they don't
tired
even
of the marriage.
Yeah, he wants to go. A lot
Yes.
of men don't tell women I want to go. It's in their actions. That's what women don't understand. And that's what I was trying to say, that I'm not really. I don't completely agree with Sajo when he said men are more with what they say is what women
How to show women want you to
speak
your
more
than
than
speak your
to
emotions
act.
than
No,
to act.
women want you to act more than you speak. It's only the gullible ones that want you to speak. Because in everything that you are as a man, it's in your actions.
Yeah.
If you want to know if a man wants to stay with you, watch his actions, not what he says. Watch his actions, you will know. Men don't tell you they want to go, they're tired. It's in their actions. He in his mind, he'll be like, oh, I've done everything now for this
But she
woman
still
to
doesn't
go.
want to go.
She doesn't want to go. Do you know what I mean? So what I'll say again is, before a man starts to sleep with or have side chicks out there, he has weighed his options and the consequences.
Okay, so I hear you, but I also want to say that there are also men who have side chicks and they want to keep their home.
So what they do, they hide it and make sure they let her know from the get-go that, listen, this is just transaction. Don't come here loving me. But see, why are they hiding it? Because they don't want to lose. They know that there's potential. They can lose their home.
But guess what? Let me tell you, there's no man that won't hide it. It's the women that find out. And when they find
Oh,
out...
some men don't hide it.
Okay, so I don't know about that.
Some men don't hide it.
Okay.
Character, you need to understand that regardless of marriage, there's something called character and attitude. Some people are not well behaved. They're badly behaved. So even in their workplace,
Frank, I
in
think
their
I
marriage,
completely agree with you.
they are, not well behaved. So some men,
Okay.
they don't care. They'll say so. Oh yeah, there are men like that.
Sajo, you said you agree with me regarding what?
Yeah, I agree with you to the extent that every right-thinking man. I mean, there are some people that walk around and you think they are men because they have something dangling over them, and in truth, they are not men.
Okay.
Every right-thinking man who is engaged in infidelity or side chicking should hide it
Yes.
from the wife, who would go and discover because she's looking for what is not looking for her. On the one side, then more importantly, I wanted to say this to what
Just said.
my friend Jessica was saying.
Yeah.
You see, having interacted with a great number of men, I do not think there's any man that goes into this side chick habit because he wants to leave his marriage.
I agree.
And I also have seen a lot of men who goes in there just to
Chop
be
and get
able
hooked.
to. I don't know if this is true, but I've had arguments and very intelligent and sound arguments saying that it is this side chick that saved my marriage.
No, I don't.
No, but I've
I
heard
refuse
somebody
that.
has told me that.
Because that's just an excuse.
That was
No,
That's
so
fine.
I agree it's an excuse,
I
but
don't
I know
agree.
somebody who has... Let me give you a story.
It's
So
not
I
an
know him
excuse.
so
It's
well.
not an
Doing
excuse.
something.
You
You know
know,
what I mean by risk? You see, in life, everything's
it's
about
always
risk.
convenient for us to call this
When
excuses
someone
because
is
we are
cheating,
not
I'm not
faced with
saying that the
them.
man wants to end his marriage now. No, but he has put it on the plate for the marriage to go.
Yeah,
to
because
end.
it's one of the
like
things
like
that
you
would
mentioned,
happen.
3 things would happen.
Yes.
Before you start
Divorce.
side chicking, let's be honest. No man says, I'm going there because I want to end my marriage. No. Once you
But
decide.
those are the consequences.
And they are there. They don't hide.
The second,
Do you get what I mean? They don't
the
hide.
final point I was making on that submission was that, except not jazz. I mean, let me go the way. Except not jazz. I have not seen a divorce. I have not done a divorce that is informed or is invoked or provoked because of a side chick.
Yeah, because that's what she said. Because the women don't want to
Men
go.
men leave their wives because they want to leave their wives, not because of any side chick. But of course, we must leave that opening that some side chicks can use voodoo and others to entrap you.
Who tells the court
And
that's
then
going
you
to be
begin to
side
act
chick?
out of
You're already on
order.
the losing end now.
Yeah, you
tells the
cannot
court?
say because
in
it's
your
a side
right
chick.
frame of mind.
Who tells the court because of his side chick? Let's be
No.
honest.
Okay, so but Sajo,
Sajo,
what you
Madam
said.
Franca, first of all, it's not what we prepare in our brief that we are told as lawyers.
True.
So I'm saying to you, we hear the real story.
The real story. They hear the real story.
The real reason.
Okay.
We
Why
hear
they
the real
want to
story
leave.
and the real reasons, and then we narrow it and see how we can merge the facts with law.
Okay, but Sajo,
And see what
sometimes
can go into the brief that we find.
Sajo, but wait, sometimes these side chicks, these women will say their wives don't respect them. Now side chick, they respect them. So they'll come and say, they'll say their wives don't respect them. So because, anyway, that's not even what I want to discuss. Based on what you said regarding men saying that their side chick has saved their marriage, I know a man who comes to spend time with me, you know, so he used to come all the time. And he was telling me about his side chick. Apparently, they go to the same church, and his side chick is in their church. And that usually he wants to have sex with the wife, but she doesn't agree. She's always complaining, blah, 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 and all that. So he started dating this lady. So he was always dating this lady. And he said that, in fact, there was an incident where he was so upset that he almost beat up the daughter. And that was because he had gone to the side chick and they quarreled.
Okay.
So he was angry and he came home, and that's why he wanted to beat the daughter, you know. So the side chick was not there to calm him down. So he will usually go to the side chick, and when he comes back, he's happy because he's had sex.
Medicine.
He's not, medicine. He has taken his drug and all that. For a while, though. The side chick now gets pregnant. Immediately the side chick got pregnant. You see that joy ended. Because now she started behaving like the wife that he was leaving.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Because it's no longer the sharp.
I'm not going to add to this anymore. I think I'm just going to end my, because if I want to speak, I have so much to talk about. But let's just leave it. You know,
because it's no longer about the sharp, this one now. When he goes there, the baby is crying, this one, that one. And he already has a child. Now, he has to go and look for another side chick.
And her demands becomes different now.
Yes, her demands are different.
Her demands become different.
Yes. And now, because there's a baby,
she's no longer that sexy.
Yes, and because there's a baby, he doesn't get all the attention that he needs anymore. So he has stopped going there.
That's who a man is.
He should look for another one.
That's who a man is. Not a dog, but that's who a man is.
He jumps from one place to another.
No, because it's all about them.
He should look for a new side chick.
He will look for a new side chick.
That's all, because there's a need and needs to
because he's stupid
met.
Now.
There's a need that needs to be met, but women are not like that. They have a need to be met, but they can't get it.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay, so we need to go. So please note that you can send us an email on our WhatsApp, on our email address, counsel@vedaconsult.com. And trust me, we have someone who would always attend to. We have people, a team that would always attend to your emails. If you're going through something, you need to speak to somebody, just a call or email away. Thank you.